Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Boruto, Naruto Next Generations, Chapter 55. When we last left our heroes, Momoshiki had awakened from Boruto, and started to fight Sasuke and Kawaki. He revealed that Kawaki still had all of the Otsutsuki data that the karma was kind of reproducing in him. Even after Isshiki's death, Isshiki's 100% perma-dead, by the way, as Momoshiki tells us. But anyway, Momoshiki is going to use the mostly Otsutsuki Kawaki to feed to the Ten Tails, and much like Isshiki was going to do to Boruto, use that to make a new divine tree. No one else really liked that plan, so the fight commenced. Sasuke figured out that Momoshiki was only able to materialize because of Boruto's low amount of chakra, and that is why Momoshiki was not absorbing any jutsu, and so Kawaki set himself on fire. Knowing that Momoshiki had to save his sacrifice above all else, Momoshiki had to absorb the fire, giving Boruto the time he needed, or the power he needed to break free of Momoshiki's control, at least temporarily. And it's kind of where we leave off, with the two of them. Boruto and Kawaki collapsed on the ground, and Naruto's still dying. So with that lengthy intro out of the way, let's jump right on into Chapter 55, Legacy. And our picture here is of Code, who, as I've been saying for a while, with Isshiki dead, the show doesn't really know... I don't really know what the show is going to do with Code and Delta. So maybe this chapter is going to give us some answers. Especially Code, who has done nothing in the entire anime and manga. He's done a little bit in the anime, but not a whole lot. Anyway, we open with Naruto waking up on a pool of water. It looks like he's back in the Nine Tails little ceiling room. There's not really a ceiling room anymore after the relationship is kind of mended. But you know what I mean. And yeah, Kurama calls out to him, "Over here, Naruto." Naruto looks over, "Kurama." The two of them look at each other, and Naruto says, "I guess that means I came to say farewell, so far as that goes." Okay. So, Naruto thinks that he's dead, which makes sense, given everything that has happened. I guess Kurama, I think they're both, because Kurama's, he says, "I came to say farewell." And so, I'm curious if he's saying, is Kurama going to rejuvenate now? Given that the Baryon mode seems to have eliminated his chakra in a more permanent way, I don't know if Kurama can regenerate, like tailed beasts are supposed to be able to do. Anyway, this may be our last conversation, so start talking. Naruto's quiet for a minute before he continues, "Well, you killed my pa and ma." That's one way to start a conversation, Naruto. "Yeah, you killed my parents. Alright. No, that's not it. We've been through a lot, but all in all, I'm really glad you were around. Thanks." "Are you serious? That's it?" And Naruto kind of grins. "I thought I was prepared for this, but now that the time's come, I have no idea what to say." But Kurama continues, "The Baryon mode worked, and we were able to take down the Otsutsuki. I just didn't want to chase my tails and die in vain. So this ain't a bad way to go." To the end, Kurama is still kind of playing the tsundere there. It's not just he didn't want to die in vain. He wanted to help Naruto. Naruto sits up. "I've still got a lot of worries. Boruto, Kawaki, the village." And Kurama continues, "Well, that's none of my concern. You'll need to take care of that on your own." Okay, hold on. Is Naruto gonna live? Because that's what Isshiki's statement, or what Kurama's statement is implying. That he'll take care of that on his own. Normally, when a Jinchuriki's Biju is extracted, they die. That doesn't apply to you. The Biju's chakra simply vanishes. It probably looks to others like you're dead, but it's no more than a temporary state of shock. Don't worry, you'll wake up soon. Hold on, 1 second. Why doesn't it apply to Naruto? Because I remember when Kushina had Kurama extracted, back in that flashback, there was a line about how she could live a little bit longer thanks to the Uzumaki's, like, regenerative powers or just natural strength or something. Um, but, like, I think the implication there was that she was still going to die. It just wasn't going to be instant, like it was with Gaara. But here, Kurama's saying that Naruto's just gonna live. Is that due to having the Sage of Six Paths powers? Is that due to being, like, the meeting ground of the other Biju, so their chakra is still in him? Either way, the fact that Naruto is going to live still kind of feels like a cop-out. Given how much this whole plot line was played up as Naruto's death. But anyway, maybe the series will kind of make it work better. And then Naruto looks at him, hold on, wait a sec, what are you saying? And then Kurama clarifies, the Baryon mode's price is my life, not yours, Naruto. And Naruto looks at him, just so you know, I never once lied to you. At no time did I ever say that you would die. Is that right? I have to go back and check those chapters. And Naruto's response is, you deliberately misled me. That, honestly, though, kind of does show the strength of their bond after all these years. Is that, you know, even with, like, if Kurama said, I'll die, Naruto would have pushed back. But giving up his own life is something Naruto is much more willing to do than giving up his friend's life. But anyway, if I told you at the get-go that power came in exchange for my life, you would have hesitated, or were supposed it outright, even if you knew it was our only hope. Because you're annoying like that. Am I wrong? That's basically what I just laid out. Naruto looks at him, Kurama? Don't look at me like that. That's what's annoying about you. And then we see Kurama's, like, starting to literally fade away, turn into smoke. Well, I guess this is it. I've gotta go, bud. Be real careful. You ain't gonna have superhuman strength anymore. So if you ever do it, you'll end up joining me in no time. So yeah, I guess that means Kurama is not going to, like, respawn, like the Tailed Beasts are supposed to do. I don't think I'm misremembering that, because I remember when A was gonna kill Naruto after he broke out of turtle jail, right, or whatever it was, Tsunade stopped him because Naruto has better control of the Nine Tails than a random Jinchuriki would. So I'm assuming this means that Baryon mode is not like that. Kurama will not regenerate in any way, and that this is the end for him. I think. I don't know. I mean, this whole concept is brand new. So if you ever do it, you'll end up joining me in no time. But until that day comes, and he kind of, like, fades away into the smoke, you be well, Naruto. And Naruto calls out for him, hey, wait, don't go, Kurama! And as I think we're now in the physical world, because we see what looks like Boruto's hand grabbing Naruto's hands. Yeah, Naruto's awake now. But Kurama is dead. Like, I don't think this is going to be like an Aquarius and Fairy Tail thing, where he's respawned somewhere else in the world, can occasionally show up for extra help. I think Kurama's just dead. Okay. Yeah. Damn. I think he is just kind of gone. Okay. Yeah, let's keep going. We see, Boruto's, like, clinging on to Naruto's outstretched hand. Dad! And Naruto just looks barely conscious there. Bloodied up, bruised, and he just lets out, Boruto? And Boruto sniffs, and then just clings to him. Wah! How could you worry me like that? Stupid dad! Ow. Hey, watch it. And Sasuke and Kawaki just both look at him, relieved that he's still alive. And Kawaki just collapses, which he deserves. He's been through a lot. And he just kind of sighs, closing his eyes. And then we cut to some time later. It seems like Naruto has told Sasuke the situation. I see. So Kurama's... Naruto responds, I assumed I'd be the one who would die. Though I suppose Kurama would still be dead then too. I never thought it'd end up like this. Though again, The fact that no one's bringing up the fact that tailed beasts should be able to regenerate is kind of weird to me. I mean, I get that Baryon mode affects chakra in a different way, in a permanent way. And so a tailed beast being composed of chakra, um, would be permanently altered by the Baryon mode. I just wish there was, like, just the slightest indication that this is weird. Or that this is not normal. I don't know. I'm probably just being a little bit pedantic there. Anyway, Kawaki cuts in. Not to be rude, but can we talk about this after we get home? Oh, right. Sorry. Let's get going. And then Sasuke turns to Boruto. Boruto, can you do it? Huh? Me? You mean using this? Holding up the karma. Yes. I can't use my Rinnegan anymore. And Boruto feels guilty. Understandably. As he flashes back to Momoshiki stabbing out Sasuke's eye. So yeah, that seems to confirm that the Rinnegan is just permanently gone. There's nothing left to it anymore. It doesn't like maybe it's just kind of he needs to heal for a while after that injury, but I could see that kind of cop out being thrown in. But I think it's gone. I think the Rinnegan is just kind of dead. Which I think, if the series is going to get rid of its main villain this early, that's a good price to pay. Like, Naruto has lost Kurama, losing a good chunk of his power in the process. Definitely, like the multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu thing is kind of gone now. Because he can only do that because of the immense chakra reserves Kurama had. Sasuke has lost his Rinnegan. He still has the Sharingan in the other eye, so he's not like you know, a normal ninja anymore. He still has Sharingan. But, like, he's not in a great spot right now. But Sasuke comforts Boruto. Don't worry about it. I'm just stating a fact. This is not your fault. We were all prepared to die. We need to count ourselves lucky to have won and survived. And Boruto can just say, Master. And Kawaki kind of cuts through all of Boruto's self-pity. Excuse me. The man himself is telling you it's okay, so drop it. Just hurry up and do it, Boruto. Since there ain't no other way. And Boruto calls to him, shut up! I know that! I need a moment, alright? And then we cut to the dimension, where Isshiki's Ten Tails is. And we see Code. Finally getting to do something. And we see, it seems like he was asleep in that dimension. And he wakes up. I'm curious, it shouldn't make any sense. But is it possible that Isshiki put a karma on Code? I don't think there's any time for it. But, like, it could be a one last failsafe. And Momoshiki, for some reason, just was not able to sense it last time. I think that might be possible. I'm not sure. We'll see how the scene plays out. But anyway, he wakes up, and then he yawns. And then he looks up. Gah, I overslept. And he looks down into the pit, and he sees the Ten Tails, who's just kind of growling down there. And then he just lies down. Good. All's well. He falls back asleep, or he falls back to lying down. He kind of looks around, and he looks at his hand. And I think we're about to see a karma. Yep. There it is. We see his karma, but it's kind of faded out. And Code just kind of sighs, damn it, Kawaki. Supplanting me and being specially chosen to become an official Otsutsuki vessel. Why would you be upset over that? Oh, okay. So before Kawaki came into the picture, Code was kind of the original plan, and then Kawaki was just kind of a better vessel. I wouldn't waste the opportunity if I'd actually had a real karma, instead of this dud. And then we see his hand starts to kind of transform to this kind of mechanical, there's these mechanical, like, tattoo-looking things. And smoke starts to spew from it. Where the karma was has become a circle now. And smoke starts to spew from it, and Code looks around, and out appears Isshiki, or a hologram of Isshiki, or something. And Code is stunned. And Isshiki looks at him. Code, my most loyal, beloved servant. And Code can only just say, Otsutsuki Isshiki, what are you doing here? Okay, so it looks like Code is going to somehow be tied into an Isshiki resurrection plot. Okay. And Isshiki continues, how fate indulges in irony, that with all my vessels gone and nowhere for my soul to dwell, its destination would be you, who could not become a vessel. Your soul? The resurrection failed? What happened to Kawaki? I was deceived and betrayed by Amado, and was forced to resurrect in Jigen, and thus ended up like so. It caused Kawaki's karma to dissipate, but it appears your karma has remained, you who are not suitable to be a vessel. Okay, we're getting a lot of info here. And Code looks down at his karma, but this karma is a dud. Unlike Kawaki, I couldn't become a vessel. I am humbled that you have appeared before me, but unfortunately, I cannot serve as a receptacle for your soul. Now I'm really interested in Code. Because this whole time, Code has just kind of been like a background character who was just sort of a part of Kara, but didn't really matter. But now it looks like Code is like gonna be a replacement villain for Isshiki, along with Momoshiki, who's still hanging out in Boruto. And I'm curious how he's gonna step into the role. But Isshiki continues, the non-vessel white karma, that is my legacy, dwelling within you in the form of pure power. And you shall inherit the Otsutsuki will, in addition to that white karma Code. That seems like an official, like a proper noun, Otsutsuki will. Kind of like the will of fire. And I'm curious what he's referring to. I'm curious about a lot of things this chapter, but there's a lot of things going on that are just like kind of brand new. And Code looks at him. My soul will dissipate shortly. But I cannot allow the Otsutsuki will to be snuffed out as well. Not when we have devoured countless planets, and continuously evolved over thousands of years. So that would imply that Isshiki is one of the last Otsutsukis. And I don't think that's right. Given that Momoshiki was sent like thousands of years after Isshiki. I don't know. We'll see. And Code tells him, sure, go on. What would you have me do? Kawaki or Uzumaki Boruto. Consecrate either of them to Ten Tails and cultivate a divine tree. And Code asks, Uzumaki Boruto? Then procure the chakra fruit that the divine tree bears. It is the crystallization of a planet's life. It shall contain everything. A record of all life that ever lived and died on this planet, including me. Eat it and upgrade yourself, Code. Do that, and you yourself will become a new Otsutsuki. Okay, there's a lot there. Okay. Now we see while the villain has changed, the goal is shockingly similar. Still, give the Ten Tails an Otsutsuki meal, and then, I mean, the source is different. I think it's a little bit more clear what the goal is. Like, Isshiki was just kind of into the same kind of whatever exactly the Otsutsukis want with the divine trees, which I think it's like they sell them to other species, I think. It's been a while since we really touched on the why. But here, Code has a much more personal stake in this. It's not some kind of, money-making scheme, is what I think was going on. I might be fully off base there. It's specifically, Code wants that identity, given by his beloved master. I'm also going to have to rewatch some of the anime episodes that have featured Code with this new kind of characterization in mind, because I don't really remember that being a part of his whole deal. In the few episodes, like, I think he attacks Jigen in the anime at one point, doesn't he? As part of the traitor mind games that have been going on in the anime's version of the OW arc. So I'm kind of curious how that all plays into my beloved and loyal servant that Isshiki hits him with. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Moving on. Then go forth and devour, planet after planet across space. Keep evolving until you become a peerless, unique existence. A god. And we see this image of what a god is. And it's like nothing we've ever seen before. He's got like these stripes up and down his body, like white eyes, which aren't too abnormal. Kind of like third eye, maybe the sort of like crowned peak to its head. It's a cool image. I'm wondering if that's going to turn into Code's final form when he's an Otsutsuki. If he becomes an Otsutsuki, which again, who knows? And also, I haven't really touched on this. How is all of this going to tie into the flash forward? Like, I don't even know. I don't know how the flash forward fits into anything anymore. But Code kind of looks up at Isshiki. As Isshiki finishes, that is the Otsutsuki will, that you shall inherit, Code. And Code kind of takes it all in. A god, huh? But as a worshipper of Otsutsuki, you were my god. So first I want to dispose of those who stole the pillar of my heart from me, before I have the divine tree absorb all life. Tell me the names of the bastards who destroyed you. Well, he's in luck. Anyway, we then come back to the dimension of the Isshiki battle, as Boruto is trying and seemingly failing to activate the Karma portal. Ugh, God! We see the Karma is kind of extended, but it's just kind of sitting there. Damn it, it ain't working! Tell me again, how does space-time ninjutsu work? And Naruto just kind of chuckles. Ouch. To have to rely on a fluke. Should you really be chuckling? Kurama just died, man. Show some respect. Give the fox a break. But Kawaki sits there, just kind of thinking before answering. Loosen up, you're stiff as a board. It should be easy if you relax. And then Boruto looks at him, and Kawaki continues. Are you scared that he will emerge again? And we realize, through a quick flashback to Momoshiki, that Kawaki is right. Which will absolutely affect the way Boruto goes on, like, any ninja mission from here on out. So I'm really excited to see how that all plays out. I never want to experience that again, but I honestly can't guarantee that it won't happen. And Kawaki takes that in before answering, my karma's gone for good, thanks to you and everyone else. I lived only to get rid of it, but it turned out that I couldn't do anything by myself. And Naruto listens to that. It's the same with you. You ain't likely to solve it all on your own, so stop thinking about it. That's easy for you to say. I'll somehow get rid of your karma. I swear it. Okay, so now we see Kawaki's new goal is similar to his old goal, but it's also distinctly built on the brotherly bond he has with Boruto, which I love. It's great. That's a great kind of change for him. What I'm really curious, though, is that what if somehow, thinking about the flash forward, ending the era of Shinobi either is part of getting rid of Boruto's karma, or stems from his mission, and then his mission eventually changes, but his original goal, but his end the era of Shinobi goal we see in the flash forward, somehow stems from getting rid of Boruto's karma. Especially because Boruto still has his karma in the flash forward. I don't know. There's a lot to kind of pick at. And Boruto looks at him. Kawaki, we promised to help each other, remember? It's not over just because mine's gone. I'm not stopping until we take care of yours, too. I suffered from the karma for years. It ain't meant as a boast, but I'm a lot more seasoned than you. So I absolutely hate karma, from the bottom of my heart. And I won't rest until I stamp them all out, no matter who has it. Here's a random line. Here's a random thought, though. Momoshiki mentioned last chapter that Boruto and Kawaki were at about the same point in their karma's kind of development. And so I'm wondering why it took years to reach what Boruto reached in a few months. Or Boruto's karma reached in a few months. And like maybe that has something to do with Isshiki versus Momoshiki. Maybe Momoshiki is stronger than Isshiki. Or maybe because Isshiki is older, maybe he has more data to extract, so it takes longer. I don't know. Just a thought. Anyway. And Sasuke is listening in as Boruto responds, I hate this piece of crap too. I want it gone now, no matter what it takes. Good. We both agree. And in order to do that, you need to use it to get us back to the village. The real work will begin then. And Boruto asks, so? How do I do it? I told you. And we see this kind of like aura around Kawaki. Quit freaking out and just hurry up and do it. And Boruto has the same aura. Huh? What gives you the right to boss me around like that? And from that aura comes the Karma Rift. And so when I'm kind of wondering, looking at that, take us on yet another tangent, is because Boruto and Kawaki's karmas could resonate, will that somehow lead to Kawaki getting his karma back? Because Kawaki also has the karma in the flash forward. I don't know. Again, the flash forward is such a weird thing to try to make sense right now. Because the story does not seem interested in it at all. Which is kind of for the best, I'd say. But still, I'm trying to like put it all together. But Sasuke, seeing the opportunity, grabs Naruto and runs towards the rift. Naruto's just, huh? And Sasuke, gah, yeesh, kids. And then we check back in the underground bunker, where Amado, Sumire, Katasuke, and Shikamaru all are. And we see Shikamaru say, no, not yet. And we sit on like a radio. Not while the situation still isn't clear. He listens in. Who knows? I can't say. Just tell them to keep doing their jobs. Katasuke, dear me, how are things going to turn out? And he turns back to Amado. Any thoughts, Dr. Amado? And Amado is just sitting there, muttering to himself. And Katasuke asks, Dr. Amado? And then Amado looks up at him. Oh, sorry. You were saying? No, nothing important. I also have had the thought that we don't know a lot about Amado still. You know, we don't know why he played this kind of sabotage game with Kara. Like, why, not just why he would betray Kara, but it seemed like he joined Kara to betray them. And so, where he fits into this narrative is still kind of unclear, other than he is on our side, supposedly on our side. I don't know. No, nothing important. Oh? And Sumire looks at him kind of suspiciously. And then Shikamaru back on the radio. What? You're sure? Yeah. And Otsutsuki? And everyone listens in. I see. Alright. Rush the medic corps there. We'll follow right behind. And Shikamaru turns back to the group. Naruto and the others are back. And no sign of Otsutsuki. It looks like things went well. And Katasuke and Sumire light up. And Amado, hey, what about Kawaki? Is he okay? I'm told they're all injured but safe. In any case, we're headed there now. We'll know more then. I see. He's safe. Thank goodness. And he looks just kind of slump a little bit. And it seems to be genuine, but Sumire very clearly does not think that it's genuine. Also, there's something about how Sumire's eyes are drawn, and both of her looking at Amado suspiciously panels that just looks really weird. I don't know what it is. But anyway, our quartet have warped back onto the Hokage Manor. Safe at last, in the Leaf Village, if Amado is as good as he says. And Boruto just lets out, phew, I'm beat. And Naruto laughs, finally home. To our village. Yeah, this is Sasuke. Barely. But somehow, finally home is a kind of curious thing. Because to us, it's been like 5 or 6 months, I think. For Naruto, it's been like an hour. Though I guess it seems a lot longer with everything that happened in the other dimension. And Kawaki looks at Boruto and says, told you could do it. Do it faster next time. Shut up, idiot. And then Boruto pauses there. But you know, I do feel like anything's possible. As long as I'm with you. I said it before, I'll say it 100 times. I love Boruto and Kawaki's relationship. And like, not even in a romantic way, just like their kind of brotherly bond. Is just so good. Naruto just needs to shut up and adopt Kawaki. That's how this arc needs to end. Kawaki looks at Boruto. Gah, you gotta be joking. Hurry up and stand on your own. And Boruto kind of smiles at him as we cut back to the other dimension, the Ten Tails dimension. Kawaki, the traitor Amado, and we see Code's karma that looks a lot like a white version of the fully fleshed out karma design. Uchiha Sasuke, Hokage Uzumaki Naruto, and Momoshiki's vessel Uzumaki Boruto. Next chapter hits March 19th. Supposedly, because this little bit here at the end of the app, end of the chapter, the next chapter will arrive on March 18th. So I'm assuming it's going to be the 18th, but who knows. Anyway, that is chapter 55, which has the dual job of being simultaneously an epilogue chapter to the Isshiki's role in the story, while simultaneously being a setup chapter for Code's role in the story. And I will say, while I expected the series to do something with Code and Delta, I was not expecting Code and Delta, or Code at the very least, is now the new main villain. Prior to 54, I was expecting Momoshiki to successfully take over Boruto, and then become the new leader of Kara with Code and Delta. But now, who fucking knows? I mean, we have the idea that Code is now going to kind of continue Isshiki's plan, become a god, and go do the Otsutsuki genocide thing on other planets. And I think, I can't imagine, given that this is Naruto, I can't imagine us not eventually getting some Code backstory, but I think we really need Code backstory for this to work. Given that Code has been such a nothing character, to kind of, he's literally done, I think, nothing in the manga. He's done a very tiny bit in the anime, but he has done a flat load of nothing in the entire manga. And now he's suddenly the main villain. I think some work needs to be done to make that kind of transition land. And I'm fully convinced that the series will make that transition land. But I do think it needs to, actually do the work. It's not there yet. But yeah, the other big thing in this chapter is Kurama. And I will say, it does feel like a cop-out. Naruto surviving feels kind of like a cop-out. I guess there's a parallel to both Sasuke losing his eye, losing the Rinnegan, and Kakashi losing his Sharingan. Especially because Kakashi was also Hokage at one point. But given how much the last 3 or 4 chapters played on the thought that Naruto was dying, Baryon mode, the end of the Baryon mode reveal was 4 chapters ago, and this whole time we've kind of been under the impression that this is kind of it for Naruto, and then all of a sudden it's kind of not it for Naruto. It does sort of feel like a cop-out. However, it is Kurama's reasoning for the twist is laid very much in their dynamic, in Kurama's understanding of Naruto, and so I'd say it mostly works. And also, I've been watching this series since I was 7. I'm never going to complain about Naruto not being dead. I'm more than happy to see Naruto survive, and also Kurama dying, along with Sasuke losing the Rinnegan, kind of very easily gets out of that sequel series problem of why not just let the super strong old heroes solve everything. Now, they're both strong. They're still Naruto and Sasuke with all the powers they've kind of gained over the series. But Sasuke is Rinnegan-less, Naruto is Kurama-less. They're now at a distinctly lower level than they've been, which allows the new generation to kind of rise up. And they could have done that with Naruto dying, I will admit, but the series does still kind of let that happen. There are still definitive consequences for Baryon mode, and so I'm not as opposed to it as I might be if they were just kind of hunky-dory and Kurama was fine and they were just kind of unconscious for a long time or a coma. It's a lot better than any of that. So I think it largely works. It's not perfect, but it does largely work. I also like the idea that Boruto has some deep-seated trauma he's going to have to work through. As a result of how close Momoshiki was to just killing everyone. And I can't imagine that's not going to affect him going forward. The last thing to bring up before I bring this very, very long video to an end, there's a lot to dig into in this chapter, is Sumire's suspicions of Amado. And I've been kind of wondering, there's something about Amado, we just don't know a lot about him. Even when he's been on our side for a year. And those two very, very noticeable Sumire panels of her just staring at him suspiciously seem very important here. That whatever is going on, Sumire is suspicious of Amado. That thank goodness line is Amado's final line of the chapter, and I think there's something there. That he has some other goal for Kawaki in mind. And I doubt that goal is going to be very good. But with that, everyone is back home, safe for now. Amado is still suspicious, and Code knows who he wants to kill, and his white karma, seems to have powered up a little bit, maybe. And yeah, that's chapter 55. That is a gargantuan chapter, closing the book on one leg of the story, while simultaneously opening it for whatever is to come. And I can't wait to see where we go from here. So I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe. You know, do whatever makes you happy, you know? And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!